Okay, so it's Monday, 21st of September, 2020. On Friday, I had scenario 1. Let's see. Right, this is Friday. So on Friday, I had as scenario 1 open test to around 45. Somewhere here. Test the high and then continue higher to 69. As scenario 1. Scenario 2, I had open, challenge the highs of the previous day, unable to take them out, and test the epoch of previous day, continue lower into the value area of that day, and potentially set a lower high followed by a lower low and finish into the range. So that was my scenario 2. What we ended up having was very brief test up, followed by a quick sell-off. Here is the ticker anchor chart for Friday. So we sold off, tested above the mid, open test, open test, tested high, sold off, test above the mid, and then just dropped like a stone until we formed 76-point range of the day, and then towards the end of the day, in the last 1 hour, 2 hours, we came back up to the mid. So it was a trend down day. The volume point of control stayed at the high, but it ran out of time, otherwise it would have shifted it down lower. So that was on Friday. The weekly close was here. So that was that for last week. So this was scenario 3 or 4 for me. So today, in the overnight session, we sold off around 70 points, and we're currently trading at 3,252. So what are my scenarios for today? Scenario 1 in blue. We open just below the gap zone. very close to the overnight low. Scenario 1 for me is to continue the trend lower when we started in the overnight. So scenario 1 for me is test up, to the gap high, and overnight VPOC. Gap high is at 67.50, 68 say. And so we test gap high, go down to the overnight low, and then challenge the LVN at 232. So that's my scenario 1. Scenario 2. So more likely, I expect because the inventories short. I expected a bit of a balancing up and then continuing the trend lower. And as scenario 2, if we take out the low, not by much, so we take out the low, not by much, find our buyers, and then extend to the upside, testing the gap low, and then continuing to the gap mid and gap high, which is I expect to be the top of the range today. So scenario 2, test lower, continue high to close the gap. Above the gap we have a VPOC at around 80, which is formed by 2 days of trading. It will present a bit of a challenge to get to there on a Monday. Well, not so much, 36 points. So scenario 2 will include that test depending on the depth of the pullback at the open. So that's that, scenario 2. If we pull back lower, like if we pull back down to the LVN, I only envisage the gap high. Since we open in the gap, we could have a gap and go situation, i.e. although we have had such a big drop on Friday, followed by such a big drop in the overnight, so 140 points of drop. I don't really expect another drop, sharp drop. If this is a buy the dip kind of situation, then I expect the scenario 3. Quick dip below the overnight low, and then steep rise to the VPOC of the 2 days, At 80, that was around 30 points, and then all that coincides with Friday low, day low, Friday the day session low, and then from there test the overnight mid, finish top of the VPOC. So that's scenario 3, and that is that.